All right. Okay. So, yep. Sorry, I never know how to open these things. Hello, welcome back to another commentary. The gaming's pre-recorded again. I've got like 20 of these, so I feel like the next a lot of videos are probably gonna be pre-recorded somewhat. But yeah, I want to talk about like this idea of you're in control. This sounds kind of cringy and dumb. But yeah, so I mean, it doesn't really seem like it nowadays. And there's this line I really like. I heard from all places actually, from this guy I was judging in a debate round, a middle schooler, and it says that like everyone is a victim of circumstance. And I wouldn't say that he's wrong. I feel like in the broader strokes of life, pause. That sounds about right. It's like fate that puts you where you are in the world when you're born, who you're born to, who you are, like brain chemistry, stuff like that. What like where you're born, blah blah blah. But I feel like on a smaller scale, for stuff like just everyday stuff, I think you kind of are in control. Like there's always a choice. And I know this sounds really cliche, but I feel like a lot of times we just don't really know that. Like if you're gonna do homework, but instead of doing homework, you spend like half an or 2 hours just on Instagram Reels, and or YouTube Shorts or something, whatever, or recording a Minecraft video. That was kind of your decision too, yeah. And I mean, it's just not something I've really thought about. I know this message is like comes up a lot in like movies and stuff, but it's true. It is true. Otherwise, people wouldn't say it so much, And it's just like, I guess it comes around so much that it just sort of passes through you a lot of the time. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it really is you who tries to like makes these decisions to keep scrolling and stuff. And yeah, social media is inherently designed to be like as enticing and addictive as possible, but like it's still, you gotta try to break the chain. And it might be sort of hypocritical of me to be saying this, but because I'm still not really good at just self-discipline and stuff, but it really is just up to you at the end of the day. You're the one that controls what you do. It's just like you can stop. I mean, yeah, you can. A lot of times I know you just zone out, but at the end of the day, it really is you who chooses to do this. I know this sounds like kind of preachy and stuff, but yeah, the other day I had an English paper, and by the other day I mean yesterday, that I just really could not write, because it's just the hardest book to write about. Yeah. And it was John Milton's Paradise Lost. It's the hardest book to write about. And usually I'm like okay with writing English papers. I think I'm at like a solid like B plus in English, I'd say, right now. Yeah, which isn't that bad if I do say so myself. But yeah, yeah, and we have this paper, and I've just been trying to avoid it for the longest time. We had a rough draft due. Our English teacher this year is making us do this partner system, where we have like this editing partner that we need to get our papers to before we turn in the actual paper. Yeah, so I guess like we can understand how proofreading works and stuff. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I was supposed to get this to my partner on Thursday so that he could get it back to me on Friday so that I could turn it in on Tuesday. And later on, I ended up not getting it to my partner on Thursday, and my teacher ended up making an extension for turning it in to my partner, or for just everybody, the whole class, for Friday. So I was like, oh, I don't even need to really write this. So on Wednesday, I just sat on my hands, and on Thursday, I also sat on my hands because I was like, you know what? My teacher's not even going to check. If I get this to my partner on like Saturday, it's not even going to matter, you know? You proofread it on Saturday, give it back to me. Yeah. And like even when I try to get myself to be like, okay, this is it. I'm going to start writing the paper now. I'd spend more time than it probably would have taken me to write the paper just not writing the paper, like doing anything else. Like I just start watching YouTube or something. That's how I fell down a rabbit hole, the baseball rabbit hole. I haven't really even been into baseball for like years. Yeah, you know, desperation drives you to weird places. And yeah, what's funny is that yesterday when I really got down to write the paper, I finished it in maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Like it was a hard paper to write, and I think the paper I ended up writing was not perfect. Yeah, not a really great paper, but it's all right for a first draft. I turned it into my partner, and yeah, so it's kind of, you know, just my story of lacking self-control. But the end of the day, I just really, you know, got down, told myself, you know, I really am the one like choosing to avoid this. Like sure, yeah, whatever, the algorithm, you know, stuff like draws me in and doesn't let me go, you know. I'm stuck watching YouTube for hours. Oh no, it's the fault of big companies. But like, you know, sure, I guess that's true to a certain extent, but like I also really am the one who chose to go on YouTube, you know, to run away from this paper. And the buck stops here and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. You just gotta own up to that. And so much stuff now is like, you know, I hate to get political, but I feel like a lot of politics and stuff is just like a blame game. And so much stuff in society is just like a blame game. Everybody's blaming everybody else. And yeah, that got kind of a little existential and stuff. But you know, ultimately you are the one that chose to not write this paper. That's my bad. And yeah, so now I like try to tell myself, you know, ultimately I am the one in control here that's choosing to do this. And I think I forgot to mention, but this piece of advice actually came from my advisor, so shout out to her. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. You know, like, subscribe, blah 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 blah. Adios.